stuck. There we go. Thank you. And
Yeah.
the,
And you can put that right in front, right
yeah, you
there.
can do it like this.
Yeah, turn it to the side so you can see the number. There you go.
There you go.
And people will know what that's for.
Dang, I'd like it out further.
Okay.
Yes.
Then you got this.
I just noticed. I didn't bring the, or I don't.
Oh, the back end.
Yeah, but you can't see it, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, it's a test shot. you know.
Exactly.
And all they want to do is see how it fit together.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
And if it was right. Yeah, that look. That's great. I like that because people will be able to see that and go, "Wow."
Yeah, no, man, he was crazy.
Isn't that fun?
That's the way.
That looks
it
good.
filled that up. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, and with the body
Now we
off.
can
like
wind
that.
up going, bring these guys back a little bit. You know.
Mhm.
Over here. Oh, we don't want. Yeah. But even these guys really early on, which you never see.
Mhm. Oops, that's it. Yeah.
You know, I had to do the bottom and undo the gas lines and all that stuff. Just paint them on. They were there, you know.
What years did you build these?
This was when it first came out. This was
Okay.
before it had to be in the. This one and that one when they first came out, and that had to be in the early '60s
Yeah, I was
because
thinking that.
they never got used as far as article type, except when I got the yellow one. I'll just use it to go along with that, you know.
Is this a 40 or a 39?
40.
40, okay.
And then I just, wired them from day one. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
And I just would use thread. It was ideal. And
Right.
everybody goes, "Oh, Emmons and his thread and his beeswax," It was fuzzy.
Yeah, but it
so
worked.
then
Yeah,
just
beeswax
pull it
works
through.
great.
Yeah, and
We use it for
everybody's
the
trying to
shipboard.
do all this stuff, but I go, "Well, it's easy to move around and all of this."
And glue.
Yeah, if you'd like.
Duesenberg.
Yep, things are starting to.
Come apart. So it will
one here.
fall off.
I got my finger on it, thank you. That, and you see the thread goes down, and it's the brake lines and all of that. Harris Museum supplied me with a lot of photos of this car, of the police chief's car of some major city. And it was kind of in the museum as, can you believe this? The police of St. Louis or something, the police chief had a Duesenberg, boat-tail Duesenberg,
You're getting money from
Yeah,
someplace
and it was black, of course, and it had spotlights on the side, and they were
boy.
red. Do we dare do this? I guess we don't. It doesn't want to come up, so we better not. I don't have
Take a
anything, and
chance.
I don't have time to rebuild these, so.
Yeah.
And oh, we better not hide that one back there.
Now, this is a Scarab, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Have you,
At a point in
talked
time, do
about
you want to
that?
look at the Scarab?
Okay.
Okay. This was that Strombecker had a little electric motor in the back
Right.
of it, and it was just a two-piece. Well, I watched this car run when Reventlow had it from day one. We'd go to races. And so I thought, it would make a neat model. So I glued it together, but I didn't really, early on, here's where the motor was,
Right.
and you screwed it together, and this was it. So, and I didn't, here's where the little thing came through for
the
a
slot.
slot, and so I just filled that in, and nobody's going to look at this anyway, So then hand did all of this, but then it had the decals of the numbers and all that in it. But then, if I can get the hood to come open, had to cut. If it's going to be a model, I had to cut the hood open and hinge that with my trunk type hinge of just the pivot in the plastic blocks. Cut it out, and then I did that, and it was fuel injected. So my thing was to take aluminum tubing always, and then flare it out, file it down to where it was the inside with a little round file, and then to where it got to where really thin aluminum tubing, and then it got that thin, so then you could put the end of the point of the other end of the X-Acto handle came out to kind of a rounded point, and so you could go in there and just sort of, it would flare out because it was real thin, and that's it. But yeah, I always thought that car got all of the racers, the Ferrari guys and the Maserati guys and all. It got their attention when Reventlow came in with all of Reventlow's money. He was the heir to the Revlon fortune. So he just was the playboy, the rich kid that came and built his own car, you know. And it was a strong car. Then he did a second version of it and all. And I saw someplace sometime back that it's restored and in some museum. But that was a really neat car. And I thought that the trophy, the a la carte trophy, that was done at AMT in probably mid '61, and for the guys there to do a pearl paint job and all these decals that, like some of these others, the Piranha's faded out. Just it's never really been in the light of day. I mean, as far as sunlight and all that, But I thought it really has stayed very nice, and they did it as a trophy, But it
wow, that's a detailed trophy.
Yeah. And the way they did it, they drilled these little holes, and when I got it, it was wired to this base, and it got to California from Chicago in a box.
Wow.
Screwed, wired to that piece of, whoa, how'd this ever get here?
How did it survive?
Yeah. I don't know, do you want to get closer into the potato chip? This is one that I thought came out really, really nice with all of the detail and all. Get back in here. There again, this was just file card. And of course, it has to be thread wired in the engine, the Corvair engine. And it was a sand drag car, not a asphalt car, because it was a dune buggy.
Yeah,
so
and that makes sense.
And out there, they have at the dunes at Glamis and Pismo, they have sand drags and all of that, and they would Ventura, down in the riverbed, they would run sand drags in the riverbed. So he didn't run it much, but it was this one was kind of neat. I thought this came out really well for not a lot of detail, but had to build all of that stuff, and it, the air cleaner up here on the bar and all.
Turned out great.
Do you want to show closer up of the wire wheels? I need to. Let's do it this way. Should be
I've got a pretty good shot of him.
okay, and also that was another thing that on the early ones. This was earlier in the Corvette, and I learned something in building this one over the others. I don't know that you can see it, but if you can, you see across the front part of the door here,
Yeah.
the glue to glue the brass, the copper wire. I bent it over so it would clear the cowl, and then bent it and went up and down, and then glued it into the inside of the door. But right here you can see the glue that holds the plastic block inside is eating through,
warping the
and
plastic,
it's starting
yeah.
to totally destroy this. I could see it earlier when I looked in through there. So that's one thing. I'm not, oh geez. The other side, the glue is, can you see that?
Oh yeah.
It's pretty much, whew. Oh dang. You see that?
What type of glue was it?
Well, just tube glue,
Okay,
you know.
yeah.
This is early on. This is probably, whew, right after this kit came out, probably 60.
Yeah.
And
That tube glue will dissolve. the
here you
plastic.
can see that there's the way the hinge, I did the hinges, where it went up and down in the door, curved out to clear the body, and then went and came in and went down, 90 down into a little block of plastic, and then it just pivots into plastic. But the glue, probably I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't come loose with plastic to copper wire,
Yeah.
you know. So you better put a bunch in here, you know. But
Well, nowadays with epoxy, it won't do that.
yeah,
So
yeah. Oh, this
That's
side
too
is
bad.
really bad. Put a bunch around that block so it wouldn't break
Yeah.
loose too, you know. Well, in today's world, this is way before I was, well, not too long before I started doing all of this stuff, you know. But this was just, you know, put the trunk, put a rumble seat in that one. This one I've always thought was really neat too, the Fiat. Okay, wait a minute and let's do this. Let's take this out. This is that car. It was called Old Blue. And it used the Tony Nancy T-bodied one. And it's going to take this, and then it's got all of its stuff. There's not much underneath it. They didn't want anything hanging down. But there again, here you can see the aluminum tubing for the stacks. And if you just, I first started filing them, but then what I would do, I found that a brand new X-Acto blade, you could come in there and cut it out and then file it down, and it would trim it out, a brand new one. The aluminum was soft enough. Then again, it would put the other end of the handle of it in, and it would flare. You could wiggle it around a little bit, and then it would flare it out. This is one that the wheels, front wheels, and yeah, they're doing okay. But this one, it is really bad, and when I went to try to pull them off, then it broke the front axle out, so this one had to be repaired. And here I noticed that real fine copper wire is going along the frame as to hold the hoses and all. Can you get in that
Yeah,
close?
I got it.
I mean, this has been a long time ago. In the body, I don't know if you can get into there, even though you can see it. All of this was done with thin copper wire. And you can see the chute release. It's got a little wire disc pull. Now it seemed to me like maybe it's Nancy's or one of them. I thought my thing was that I would. They had the safety thing that you pulled out, the little ribbon thing with a keeper wire in it.
Mm-hmm.
And before they left, they'd pull that out, grab it and pull it out. And I thought, well, it wouldn't be in that one, but I thought that they were on these. I guess not. Well, whatever. car looks really neat. Well, okay, here we go. This could be, here we got the stacks again. And whew. So the difference, the stock version is just solid. I think he has a couple holes in it or something. Looking down at the thing, so that didn't work for a street car. So then I just took thin, real fine wire mesh screen, and then bent it and used that for that. Let's see. Maybe we can turn it this other way. It's got a Corvette rear end under it. And there again, the trunk opens. We've been this route with that other one.
Yeah.
I don't want to try to get it open. And I don't know that you can see the. Oh, you're not supposed to do that. I guess it's going to do. There. I couldn't figure out what to do with that because it wanted to do what that other one just did, pop forward. So I thought, okay, in the display, what can I do here? So, uh-oh, that one's loose. Oh, we've got it fastened down, but I don't know. Can you zero in and see what's holding that up? It's a blower that blew up. And so I hogged out, I took a drill and just went in there and started doing it. And so the whole half of the side of the blower case, well, that would make a good one. So that's what's holds the hood up when they're in the pits when they're working on it. I don't see the safety pull on that parachute either. Now those things could have been in the box coming up, still be in the box. That's the one.
Yeah,
That is the one.
I like the way that's set up.
Yeah, from the time I built it, I didn't know what to do with it, and I knew I was never going to glue it together. Or why bother, you know?
Yeah.
Then I debated here, how would we do this, you know, and it doesn't look like the car, you know. But yeah, that's a lot better. And it filled that little space too. Do you want to look close at the yellow Woody?
Yeah.
Well, the surfboards are loose, but they do. Ooh, this could be a disaster. Yeah, they do.
Well, that fabric could be.
Yeah, that probably is not a good idea, but it does. Hinge. They do close. And cloth, what, 50 years later, is still working.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
But I noticed that this is paper, and it rolled over. It was a sticky backed, and it's now starting to try to come out. And then I painted it, and so it's trying to. Ooh, don't do this. That's all right. It's just surfboards that we're laying on there. Where'd the other one go? Oh, I see.
It's in the by the parachute.
Yeah. Let's get this back there before we.
Yeah, I don't want to do damage to it.
Yeah. It doesn't need surfboards, but it does need to be in one piece.
Yeah.
And I think also, yeah, it turns. without messing up the... And then the early surfboards and all, they did this kind of thing so that some of that same 3-ply plywood, if you sand it down, then it that was kind of what they did back in those days. Do you want to look at the yeah, we'll do that. There's how it worked. Here's the little wires with the little washers. Oh, and looking at this from underneath, check the gear on the axle. It's got a bunch of white stuff growing
Yeah, a
on
little
it.
bit of corrosion on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be cleaned up a bit.
Yeah.
That dripping onto the model.
But then you came around, and this is how it came out, by having that hole in there anyway that they had in the back of the body. Then just put that plate on it, you pack it up, and then the rubber band went around the pack, went down in there and across those wires. And when you came across, the first pass, the razor blade wasn't high enough and nothing happened, you know. Whoops. So, but then I had to worry that if you got it too high, it would hit the underside, you know.
Yeah.
It was a brand new razor blade, and razor blades were very sharp. So, and by using a little rubber band, like here's a couple of them down here, they got stretched really tight. I figured it had to be really tight. When it hit that razor blade, then it would cut it, you know, and it did. Now to get the parachute back up where it's looking good. Hey,
There, there you go. If it'll stay up.
ooh, some of the threads are coming loose.
I'm surprised how well the parachute itself is holding together.
Yeah, yeah. And here's the Austin Healey. It was the first of the doors. No, that one was the first one, the 32. Now it'd be interesting that the door hinge didn't
Yeah,
happen.
that one didn't.
And it, yeah. And in looking at the paint job, it's got, which I guess you'd call on a real car, a lot of orange peel, but none of these were ever rubbed out. It got one paint, one coat of this, and that's what it was. And my thing wasn't paint jobs. It's fine, you know. Let's see what we did under here. Not much. It's just the stock kit. Does have the steering in it. That was it was the 32 Roadster, and then this one. This guy was the one that was done for the article, and it's just me, but open the trunk, you need something in the trunk. So it's got some flares and some tools. It's a show car.
That's cool.
And they now let's check the doors on this guy. Nope, must have started using a lot less, I'm not going to push it closed, but a lot less glue to ensure
Yeah.
that they stayed in there. But it was, hold the hood. Not a lot there. It was, this was one that a lot of mine were do the article, get it done, and all I need is a finished photo. But if you're going to have the hood that opens and all, you definitely need to have that wired.
Yeah.
But we got to move on to the next one. It's got to be done in a month. You know? And it's got, this one just had a 4-cylinder. Oh. If you come around at what I was worried about all these years, if you look at the front wheel, the tires coming off of the front wheel, and I guess it's maybe the tires shrinking or something and pulling itself right off of the
Yeah, I can see
wheel. And I've often worried about this because what happens to these things, obviously the manufacturers didn't think that these things were going to be around 50 years later, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just a plastic model. You wouldn't think
Yeah, you know.
way back when.
Yeah.
It was just basically a
It's
cheap.
something for something to build
Fun,
and it'll
but-
move on, you
yeah.
know. So nobody, well, they didn't really care. They just wanted to sell kits. Well, how would you research it? Well, you have to research it for 50 years to see if
Yeah.
this stuff's going to work. You know?
I mean, there was no test before that about
Yeah.
rubber
Yeah,
with the plastic.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was no way to test that. Obviously, after years, we found out the truth.
A year ago at the LA Roadsters, at the Roadster show, it's the Grand National now. It used to be the Oakland Roadster Show. The Muir Brothers truck was there. The guy had restored it, and it was interesting because they said that they heard that there was a museum in Salt Lake City that had the model of their truck, and it was built from the They had the magazine articles, and Pryor was the one that knew them and that, you know, and he put them onto that, you know. But I thought it was really strange. The guy had it for sale. He'd restored it. He was out of Texas. And all of its publicity and all, and Rod and Customs cover and all of that, and it's painted like that, he elected to go with the original paint job. It isn't like that. And that's why he was selling it. But he had that magazine blown up on a thing by it. But he elected to go with another paint job other than the one that everybody knew it by.
I'm surprised. you think he would
He
have
wanted
done
to do it. I asked him about it, and he said, "Well, I thought it should be the original." I go, well, as I walked away, well, your thought was wrong, you know.
Yeah.
You know. You even knew it was up. The model was of the article that you had and all of building that and all.
Well,
was in
everybody
Salt
knows
Lake
this
City,
one, yeah.
and but you still decided to go with something that nobody knew what. I wondered why it was painted like that, you know. You know.
Yeah, you'd think you'd go with what was everybody knew,
Yeah, yeah.
rather than something that nobody knew about.
Yeah. Here's the picture. I don't know. You noticed back there, and that's where we were faking a picture of with a bottle of paint and a brush, and Parnelli's overseeing me lettering it, and that was probably about a week after he won Indianapolis. Called Strop and said, I got the model done. When's Parnelli going to be back in town? Because I want pictures of him. There's the picture that I wanted that we used up in the back with Parnelli holding it. I have some other pictures of him comparing it to the car. A little funny thing about it, the car that's in the background, when they went to the track, they had three, a 14, 15, and number 16. And so when they got to the track, they then put the decals on it, the numbers and who was driving that particular car. They were all exactly the same. All backed by Mercury. And Strop was their person. Strop's shop was the Ford race car shop for a long time. and that the year after that broke strop because halfway through the season, this is back in '64, halfway through the season, Ford pulled out. And so Strop finished the season out of his billfold, and he went broke. Then they came back in, and Ford helped him out and got him back going. Then it became Holman and Moody Strop for a while. Then they dropped the Holman Moody off it. But Holman Moody was the East Coast Ford shop, and Strops he built the cars that went to the Mexican road race, the Lincolns that ran the Mexican road race. The Shelby down on the bottom is about the last of the magazine cars. Let's see if I can get down there and get it. And it was Model Car Science. And there again, it's, it's just same wiring for just a 1 or 2 page thing on, they're coming out and releasing a Shelby. And it basically was just detail real quick for nice paint job and detail it for and there again, Candy Blue was just one shot out of a spray can. Everybody, all of the candy paint jobs were real ones, and I understand from everybody here, it's just like the real one. You put it, layer it on, but I could never figure out in doing a quickie like in the same there, I don't have time, and how do you get it all the same color unless you tape it all together and just paint it, and then paint the body with the hood on it and all, so it's all, it's all going to be the same. You try to paint the hood and all of these things separately, and good luck, to try to build up enough to where they don't look a shade lighter or darker and all of that. It's just flat not gonna, I don't have time for this, This was the, oop. This was, okay. There's the same way the early Cobra kit. The thread's so fine you can hardly see it.
Yeah.
But that was the beauty of thread. I mean, you could get it in any thickness you wanted, or gauge, or whatever they call thread. So now we'll put it down and put the hood back in it, hopefully.
If it'll cooperate.
Yeah, that'll be okay. And this one is the second of 2 that were built from my photos, or the kit was made from photos like I described earlier of how they figured that I could wind up with the type of camera that I had, which was a 2 1/4 film that could be blown up. And why we used that, the magazines, because it could be made into, mainly I used it for the color stuff, the black and white. It was just small pictures, but it could be a spread of the full spread of that. And then it was enough there that you could blow it up big in on that size film. You started with 2 1/4 negative to start with instead of a 35,
And that's a lot better to do resolution.
Right. So Emmons has got the Hasselblads and all that, and he can wind up doing that, and then it'll give us a chance at getting it there to where it's good enough to blow up into full size, Debated when I put it in. Originally in my first photos, the buggy was down by this one, but then I thought, no, And when I first brought them here, and I looked at the pictures, I got to change it when I go back. The buggies were up in this area. And I thought, well, should be hot rods up in this area, not dune buggies, And so then I moved them when I came and asked them if I could open this back up and change it. And I wanted to move the hot rods up in here and the buggies down into this area. And I don't know why, I figured, I had, as you notice that this is Parnelli Jones, and that I did when I to display it. This is the way that car got. Before it went to there, I took it to a hobby shop show, and the earlier ones had gone to the local hobby shop, had model contests all the time. They're all jammed together, So I thought, well, if I make a display board, then I got more space, So this was the candy apple, so I made that, and all of them are Masonite. Masonite on the back side has texture to it.
Well, that's a good way to do it.
So you see on a drag strip, use flat paint, flat black. And it's close to blacktop asphalt.
That's about as close as you can get.
And you were doing the one of the Nancy cars at the starting line. I wanted to do that for just displaying them and the lead shot and all. So took that and it's broken. The lights. There are the bulbs. Didn't know what to do, so when I puttied screws, heads, and then cut them off and painted them, smoothed it off, and then the let's see, this maybe is not what we should do. It's not want to come off, but I can move this so you can see into there. All of the bulbs on the starting tree are screw heads.
It's a clever way to do it.
And so then to do the, I figured, okay, if we're going to do this, you need the tires on there. So I just took tape and I sprayed the Masonite a gray, a dark gray, and then by using flat black and masking tape, then you could put the tire marks coming out on the gray. You weren't able to see Cookie's car, were you?
I don't think we did bring that out.
Okay, let me put it over here for no, I can put it right here for a second. We're talking about bases. Yeah, also, if you wanted to do it that way, then you took a piece of thin wood and you made it a sidewalk with the 20-minute parking. So this is Cookie's car, and I don't know whether you even know what Cookie's car is, but it was called Six Sunset Strip, and it was about a restaurant bar in on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, and the car hop there was, his name was Cookie, and this was his car, and it was Grabowski's car, and they used it, and it was the TV star of that whole series, and it ran for 2 or 3 years on ABC or one of the stations, and that's Cookie's car. That became that, and Tommy Ivo had one also, and they were buddies. It became the Fad T, and there's no turtle deck ones anymore. Over all the years, it was always just the Fad T, and that was the two of those guys started that fad. And that one, if you notice the knob, shifter knob, And that was kind of a trademark for, I think, still. And there's the thread again. We talked about the orange one, the article on the how-to of the doors. That's the cover back in there of the article, how to
Oh, yeah.
opening doors and trunks. And up on the top of that cover is Bill Newman by his Roadster. And the first Rodden custom models, the first 2 issues, we took Monogram's Big Deuce kit, and I built that Roadster. It was a 2-part. And I thought, looking at the pictures the magazines the other day, I go to myself, yeah, Newman was the editor, and it was Newman's car. And when did a magazine, model magazine, or any magazine, devote 8 pages, 2 issues to one car, you know? If you were the editor and it was your car we were doing a model of, you could do anything you wanted, right? You know? So it was, I believe, an 18-page article on building one car, one model. And I don't know, he kept the car. I didn't get to keep the car. I understand he still has it.